Well, a pleasant late afternoon, early evening to you, and good evening across the central, Midwest, and Eastern time zones. Welcome to the 82nd edition of The Other Side of the Ball. Double Anthony Alvarez, the Vikings, Scott McCorkle, and Knox 25 Live with you on this three-man panel as we recap Week 4. League makes a decision. Week 4 happens, and we will preview Week 5. Um, First off, gentlemen, how we doing on this late afternoon, early evening here on this Wednesday? How are we?
Oh, it was a beautiful day today.
Of
It
course.
was nice out. Man, shout out to Knox for the bonnet. I had to wear it again. I appreciate it.
Hey, bro,
Man, we had a great week. We got to see a lot of good football. We got a lot of shit.
Hold on, I got mine too. It's close by.
Man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Man, we got some shit to get into.
Yes.
Plus, I want to tap in with. I done heard some good things about these other divisions, man.
Ooh, hello.
I honestly went and I watched the recap of the fucking them boys out in the Midwest.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
And man, I'm not even gonna lie. The chaos made a big improvement. I'm not gonna say they are what they think they are, but they made a big fucking improvement based on the gameplay we saw last year.
That's good.
That's
what we wanted to see. We wanted to see the improvements all across the league. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just with our league, you feel me, or just within our division. We wanted to see it across the league.
Yeah, so, we know they have the athletes out there.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they showed up to me undersized for their their part of the country. Like, because when I was going around working out there, I used to walk around like cities like St. Louis, Chicago, all these cities like Detroit, Boston, fucking in Ohio, all a bunch of thick neck motherfuckers walking around, and ain't not one thick neck motherfucker on the football field. They got a couple now.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's just like out here. What I said on the last show, you feel me? Or even just period. It's one of those where we as a leadership, you feel me? It's up to us to start getting out there and looking for more guys and start making our league even more competitive. Oh yeah, bonnet over the beanie go crazy. Hey, it's secure though.
That means it's holding it on.
Well, we will have one guest on the show momentarily.
OTT is not beating the highest, bro.
Just recapping what happened a week ago.
Hey, I understand Boston's not in the Midwest, but it was just one of them cities where I saw a bunch of thick neck motherfuckers walking around, and I just wondered why they didn't have a league, especially being so close to the other divisions.
Yeah, you say that.
Well, there was a first. There was a first that did happen as the Octane of Indianapolis got their first win in their A7FL existence. So our congratulations to the Octane, of course, making their first season in the 10th season of the A7FL. So our congratulations to the Indianapolis Octane, first ever win, as they get to experience the thrill of victory for the first time as an A7FL organization. So our congrats to them. And the Heist and the Chaos battle the Unbeatens. Competitive, but at the end, the Chaos were 14 points better as they won 27-14. Me and Sky were trying to watch a little bit of those highlights there in the while we were doing our games. Yeah, they did have the Boston Omegas, which was the team that Corey was on last season. Of course, Corey Amadou.
I just fucking remembered that, the Boston Omegas.
Yeah,
I remember. I hit Boston. I remember when I hit Boston. Omegas. It was Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is the city I was in where I was like, no, this fucking place needs. It's like every other block is a fucking football field. Every other block is a football field, and they're beautiful. They're green, all grass. Like I was out there envious of the football fields and shit. But Boston had one because I remember I reached out to Corey. And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do when I'm in Boston? Like I'm trying to find a ratchet and get beat up by a local. And he was like, I've never actually been there.
Besides, go to Dunkin' Donuts.
They're everywhere.
I mean, that would be the one. That would be the one thing, and going to have some chowder. Yes, indeed, Mr. Palmer. Welcome. Now, Knox, please tell the story about how this whole bonnet thing came to be last Sunday. Tell us Tell us how this came about, real quick. Enlighten our fans, our viewers.
It's one of those where there's different ways to bring excitement to the league. Different players have signatures that a lot of people don't necessarily pay attention to. And shit, he started getting his hair pulled. You know what I mean? People keep pulling his hair on the 3-on-1. So why not just keep it safe? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And keep it luxurious and get him a bonnet. You know what I mean? Plus, there's been other times where people have brought him out. You know what I mean? But it's one of those where, again, we can make the league fun and just acknowledge those exciting players. And that's why we say it's not just the bonnet was just a start. You know what I'm saying? The bonnet was a
beautiful start. This is a marketing. This is a genius level marketing came up with by Mr. Knox. But so because of the bonnets and all that shit, I actually looked into bonnets, and this is some shit that white folks might need to figure out, because this shit.
Look
here, like, because white people's hair be drying out.
If you're Caucasian and you're invited to the cookout, bring a bonnet.
Man, I don't know. I used to wear do-rags, and I caught a lot of shit for it.
What? Nah. Before you gave up the locks, you had some up there. You probably could have had waves. But no, it's one of those where, again, there's different players out there with signatures. You know what I'm saying? And they're exciting to watch. So why not give them acknowledgement and just, do some what some would say goofy to us. Hey, we know what it is. And for me, I didn't really expect everybody to really take into it, you know what I'm saying, the way that they did. It was just one of those where, hey, fuck it, it's me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what was so crazy about it is you were saying it as the game was going on, and before you broke out the bonnets, you were like, there's no way. This is crazy. I didn't plan this. You kept saying it, and we didn't know what you were talking about. And then
I just kept telling you, hey,
I'm all the bonnets ready to go. Like, he had it set up. It was like he knew that lad was going to go crazy.
It's one of those where I was saying it throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be bearing gifts later, right? Now, it's crazy how he just ended up doing what he did. So it made sense. Again, it makes sense. You know what I mean? When you know, you feel me? And it's one of those. He's one of my favorite players. I've always loved Lavish. You feel me? His enthusiasm, his love for the game, his work ethic. You know what I mean?
And the
so
way
why not acknowledge him?
Absolutely.
You know
like he's always positive. You don't ever see him hating on people. Like, even when people get into it and target him, like, he really kind of just bows out of it most of the time. Like, oh, okay, like, I'm sorry you feel that way type of shit.
Yeah.
And also, I do want to say that I think Scooter has a point with if the bonnet's cool, he should be able to get the bucket hat. This is kind of the same shit.
Scotty, check your phone.
Is he trying to keep his lock safe? Nobody really pulls his hair.
Okay, that's also valid point. I like that. What's up, Coach Mark? Oh, hold on.
I mean, and it's not
there. I was checking my phone. My bad.
It's not necessarily a hat neither. You know what I mean?
Right, because it is functional. But okay, could us melanin challenged folks say that it's kind of like a protectant from the harsh Vegas sun?
But look, let's just say,
I'm trying to find a loophole for my brother here, man.
Hold on. Bubba, we will get to that in a second. As Knox finishes telling the story, we will answer that question. We will answer that question in a few minutes.
Now let's dive in. Let's go.
Ooh.
Okay, so there was
Knox, we got permission.
Situations that happened at towards the end of the half between the Hunters and Sickwitted, and this is the announcement that came from the league, and I'm going to read it for verbatim. This was the announcement made from the Nevada division, and I quote, and it says, "Due to player safety issues from the game last week, we have elected to suspend the Hunters and Kryptonite season. The Gold will absorb the Kryptonite roster for the rest of the season, and the Pit Bosses will absorb the Hunters. This was a difficult call to make, but the right ones for our teams to make sure that we are fully rostered and the games are as safe and as fair as possible. Along with this change, the league has implemented a new rule stating that a team must have 12 players present at coin toss or forfeit the game. This rule should be added to the rulebook within the next 48 hours. We thank the Hunters and Kryptonite management and staff for the hard work and dedication they've put in to the organization. Both will be invited back for the fall and for the future. Players from both organizations who have questions, ask in the thread below so we can get answers that everyone can see it because it may help them as well. We look forward to an even stronger Nevada division with competitive teams from top to bottom and the safest games possible every week. We are reworking the schedule over the next 24 hours. We will make another post once it's finalized. Now, this was made yesterday on the Nevada Players page on Facebook in regards to what happened in regards to that situation. So, for those that didn't know that, there hopefully this answers the question. We do not have a post on the updated revamped schedule yet. Soon as we get any kind of information regarding that, we will inform you guys. But that was the statement made by the Nevada division yesterday in regards to in regards to what the situation upholds at the game between Sick and the Hunters this past Sunday in the nightcap.
Well, honestly, I think it's kind of a fair move, like as far as like who absorbs who. Like the Kryptonite had a solid little base. Pit Boss has got a solid little base. So like regardless of who gets to keep what name, the smaller teams merged with the better base. Like they took the two teams that had trouble fielding players and merged them with the two teams that had a solid base that also had a little bit shorter like roster. So I understand the logic behind it. I actually like the move for the division as a whole. I wish we had enough players to have, those two teams filled out, which I mean, the point could be made that if you look at all the rosters, if you did the math, but we're not paid yet. So like telling people that they have to play with certain people or like doing a draft style thing is kind of out of the question. But I do think it's maybe they didn't get to pick who they get to merge with, but I think it's a decent move for the division as a whole, because then we're not getting that one game a day where we're just kind of like, this is going to be like, because we still have to maintain that energy during this game. We still got to try and keep everybody involved in everything. And like sometimes it hurts when you're seeing your friends out there getting cracked and they're tired and they don't have no help. Like it kind of sucks.
No, it enhances your admiration and respect for them, because I mean back in my old high school in California, there was a lot of players on varsity that played both ways, and Ironman football is very, very, very tough.
It's tough in high school when we like recover quickly, and when we don't have to go to work the next day. Like it, you know what I mean? Like it's different.
Yeah.
It's different when we're mid 20s to some of these guys are 40 plus. It's different when you have to go to work that night, the next day. You know what I mean? Like we know some of these guys can do it. You know what I mean? Like we're not taking away from like the toughness and the heart of the guys that got merged at all. Like we've been talking nothing. We've been finding the gold in we've been finding the diamonds in the rough for every single team for every single game. So like there are standout people on every single team, and now these guys are just kind of getting some help. And I think once these guys, after a couple of weeks, when these guys get used to each other and play with each other, I think everybody will be happy about it.
Well, what's the one thing we've always talked about with the upper echelon teams. It's
Blue
been
Chew.
their depth. And now that too. There's our first reference of the show.
Hey, look, somebody that
always,
watches the show is good with technology. I need you to cut every single time I talked about Blue Chew. Send it to me so I can reach out to their marketing department, or show me how to do it. Let's start going through some shit.
Scotty is trying to get Blue Chew to sponsor us to get back in the studio. I love it. Anyhow, Knox, your thoughts?
I mean,
let me ask you this: was you a part of the meeting when this took place on this decision, with you being the division manager?
I wasn't necessarily on the call because I was on my way to work, but I did get the full rundown. You know what I'm saying, on why and everything. Even just overall, to me, it made sense. To some, it may not have made sense, but it's something that I've said since my first time on the show. You want to see teams merge so you can just see those numbers. You want to see the people, you know what I'm saying, the young players put their egos to the side and actually be willing to meet people. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to meet people. If you're not willing to meet people, you know what I'm saying, you ain't no shit. Or if you feel like you're better than the next motherfucker, you're not going to never make a great teammate. Nobody's ever going to want to play alongside you. You know what I'm saying? Be willing to learn. You don't know everything. Whether it's a coaching staff, whether it's a fucking player, whether it's you're not going to know everything. You know what I'm saying? But to see these teams merge or whatever, that's what you want to see. You know what I mean? And you really don't want to see too much pushback on it because it's all about the bigger picture, right? But if you necessarily can't see the bigger picture, then maybe it's not for you at the moment. You know what I'm saying? There's a bigger picture to why this is happening. You know what I'm saying? And as a business, you want to continue to put out great product. And if the product isn't up to par and it can be fixed, and it only takes a team and a group of people to make that happen and believe in the vision, and the outcome can be 100% worth what it can be, you know what I'm saying, is cool. But when the egos start to get in the way of the bigger picture and just the outcome, then it's like you're making it harder than what it really has to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Understand that, like I said, and I say it all the time, with getting the position or even just being able to come up there to the booth and chop it up with you guys beforehand, you feel me? I was seeing what goes into it, you know what I mean? So it's a lot going on that a lot of people don't necessarily know about. And when you give ridiculous pushback over stupid shit, that's, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it could be great. It could be good. You know what I'm saying? You never know what you got until you fucking try it out.
It's kind of it's weird because I've kind of come to this realization from watching like how the management has to deal with, and it's going to lead into a question for you, Knox, specifically, but watching how you guys have to deal with some of the players in our league, and I'll even venture to say probably 50% of the league, the way you guys have to treat these guys is kind of like you're a dad. Like you just kind of have to accept all this little bickering over all this little bullshit when they don't realize that the light's about to get cut off. That, you know what I mean? That, you know, like your neighbor, you know, just tried to kill all your grass, and somebody, you know, tried to steal your catalytic converter last night, and you just found out your girl's cheating on you and this and that. You know what I mean? Like you can't tell your kid, like, bro, what you're talking about don't mean shit. You can't say that to them. You have to sit there and accept that and listen and halfway entertain their bullshit, or else they'll just kind of throw a fit. And my question to you is, like, since you've taken a step back from like being the member of a team and really, and I commend you for like the way you've taken like the leadership role and kind of actually really dove into it and taking control of everything. I appreciate what you're doing. But as you've heard these conversations between players and coaches and you having to deal with the players, simple instructions, like I heard you having to like argue with people like, can you please walk down to the other side of the field? Like, just don't be right here while the other team is still playing. Like, it's not hard to understand. Like, where is the miscommunication? Like, is it just an ego thing? How can we try and reach these people to try and fix this miscommunication?
I feel like, at least for myself, I've always said that it was, in reality, bro, this is a players' league, right? And when I say that, I'm not saying we run it or you guys run it or however you want to put it. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those, we are the product. You feel me? Mm-hmm. You want the highlights. You want the film. You want to be talked about. You want great grass. You want water. You want food. You want all of these things, right? But all we ask is the bare minimum. You feel me? And it's not anyone trying to use their power or use their authority. It's treating you as a young man. You feel me? Or a lot of us are, a lot of them, I'm not going to say us, a lot of them are still young. So they have the potential to go to whatever level that they want to go to. And it starts with being professional. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those where a lot of people feel like they know me. They really feel like they know me, but they don't know me. You know what I'm saying? So
they interacted with you on one level, and that's just out goofing around playing football.
And when you step in the lines with me, of course you're not going to like me. I might not like you. But when we step outside of those lines, we're human beings. We're men at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So we have to conduct ourselves like such. You feel me? So it's one of those where you want to be professional. I'm not going to come at you disrespectful and be like, hey, get the fuck off the field. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, I need you over here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. This is the reason why, if you need it. Now, I'm hoping with that delivery, I don't get no pushback. You know what I'm saying? Or just anybody. Hey, we need you away from the broadcast booth. You're being too loud. Hey, we need you to bring it down. You cursing too loud because of, let's just say, how our setup is. Know that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't have to tell you that. Know the setup and know what's going on. You feel me? Like you said, we don't want to treat grown men like kids. So we're going to treat you like grown men. You feel me? We expect you to know. You know what I mean? It's not hard. And it's not hard for me to deliver. You feel me? And that's why I'm like, it is what it is. I'm going to keep coming with respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, like with our new place and with our new management, there's a completely new management style. There's a new broadcasting system. There's a new setup for everything. We're going to make changes every single week for a little while. So yes, we told you to do something different week 1. Yes, there's going to be something different the next week. Yes, and after that, we're going to change it again. There's going to be a little bit different of a setup. So if you guys bear with us a little bit, it gives us more freedom and more time to be able to really put this out there and to be able to put out a finished product that'll make everybody happier. I think it's incredible how, especially Knox and Derek, like I know, because Knox, me and you just play football. I know you as like a pretty aggressive and fairly overly aggressive person, and I love that about you. But watching you try and explain to somebody in a very calm fashion and watching them buck up with you, and then watching you literally smile and be like, look, man, can we just, this is just what it is. It's nice to see, but we want to figure out how we can get it across to these guys without making it seem like we're telling them what to do. There's just going to be changes. If you roll with us, we can make things a lot smoother.
Hey, look,
I just feel like there's a lot of, because now that the booth is close, we're starting to hear a lot of these little arguments and back and forth. It's kind of crazy.
Hey, look, check it out. You know how we settle this? You ready?
Yep.
They're just going to have to get used to it, bro. Why? Because every time I see it, I'm gonna just be on you. Hey, whoa. Back it up. You feel me? Again, respectfully, and I'll even make it funny sometimes. I'm not coming at you disrespectfully, but guess what? Until you think that you know the rules, we're just gonna keep implying them and we're just gonna keep putting them out there. Why? Because we're not gonna be at risk again losing fields and having problems with the fans and the we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that.
You just brought up. I'm gonna switch gears real fast on you, real quick. Now we got Scooter on here. You just brought up a thing about rules, and me and you had a conversation.
Well, hold on, Scotty. Now, before you get into that, let's properly introduce the quarterback for the champions, Insomniacs, doing his coaching duties for the Western Warriors, the one, the only, Mr. Scooter Hamilton. Welcome, bud. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, folks?
So,
Scotty, go ahead and continue your point.
Did all of you guys see the post that A7 had put up about the highlight about that real big hit with that D lineman getting back on the pitch play or like on the little wheel route? And it was a big hit. But I feel like I like the hit. I don't think it should be a ball. But I saw that hit flagged at least twice a week in our division. And it's been something we've been talking about for a while. I still feel like I don't understand there's one set of printed rules. I don't feel like the officiating is the same across the board. I'm not criticizing our officiating. I am wondering why there is such a discrepancy in the way they're allowed to play versus things we're throwing flags on, and how that's supposed to, and how nobody understands that that's going to make a huge difference come playoffs.
It's not the officiating. It's not. It's the way our league has been ran and the way our league continues to get ran within, let's just say, the contact level. We see some of the hits that are out there and we like, oh shit, right? You see some of the ones out here and you're like, why are we getting flags for the same shit that they're doing out there, right?
Absolutely.
So let's just reference the flag real quick. You could say when it comes to tournament ball, when you're playing against different teams, and Scooter can contest to this, when you're playing those different teams, they play way more aggressive than what we're allowed to play within our league divisions. You feel me? So how are we ever able to get tournament ready? You feel me? So it's the same within the A7. If we're only allowed to do so much, right? Because I sent you that clip, right? With the ones you sent me, I sent you that one where it's like, you feel me? To where we have the league official who will he give us a legitimate reason and why? You know what I'm saying?
Because Dino caught a flag for a hit almost similar that pulled back a touchdown.
Hey, I
want to make sure that I'm not tripping, and I'm going to bounce it off of you guys because y'all are way more level-headed than I am. I'm a bit emotional, and CTE is setting in. So I'm going to let you guys kind of –
What you guys do?
Yeah, Scotty, you got to remember that back east, they've been playing this for 10 years. You know what I mean? Those refs have been around for probably quite a while. So the style of play back there is officiated differently based off of, perspective or what those refs see. Our refs in Vegas have been taught a certain way and to see a certain way, and their perspective is going to be different. And like Knox said, no different than flag. You go to Tampa and go play in a tournament. Their style of pulling flags are way different than how we pull flags here in 8-man. And it's not that we're weaker or we're soft. It's just that's how we play. It's like Olympic basketball, right? In Europe, they don't call as many fouls and things like that. They call a shit ton of fouls here in the U.S. Same with soccer. It just depends on where you're from and how those people see what a penalty is or isn't.
So just a mute point, kind of stop beating the dead horse, get over it, and play ball?
Yeah, and I mean, I think what would help the division in general, because I think the biggest issue now that I've been in it for 3 years is we're not one league. I feel like we're two separate leagues. It's Nevada division versus the rest, instead of us being all of A7, and that's kind of the problem.
That's a good point. Good point.
And so, like, I know what like the high school refs do. Like every year they go down to Utah, all the Vegas refs, or I don't know, maybe Utah refs too. They all go to like a reffing camp, and they all learn the same shit, the same way, the same thing. You know, Preston's one of those refs that are there. A couple of his guys are there. Maybe if the A7, you know, flew Vegas refs out and met with the East Coast refs and did like a little 1 or 2 day, you know, clinic on how they want things called and how things are done, that could definitely help and make everything more balanced as far as the officiating goes. But until we become one league instead of two separate leagues, I don't see none of that changing.
That's a good fucking point.
That was well fucking said.
Absolutely. I don't think that's. And Travis, like I responded to you in the chat. Keeping an eye on the chat. Travis said every division kind of feels the same way, and I'm wondering if they feel the same way based on just hitting, or if it's other things. Like I'm not here to criticize our reps. I don't think our reps are doing a bad job. I think our reps have been getting exponentially better every week, actually, and I pay attention. They missed a lot of stuff, but also like sometimes, like if a team's already losing 69-0, does that and it's 2 minutes left? Does that false start really count? Like, does it?
Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's gotten better. The last 3 weeks, just the general gameplay has been better, as far as sidelines, as far as the communication on the field with the players and the refs. When the refs are able to just come to the game and ref a game and not worry about the bullshit from the sidelines and the stands and the fans and the players yelling and screaming and cussing, it makes a ref's job much easier. So the flow of the games are going much better.
Do you think the ejections that they've been handing out are helping?
I think it keeps like the bullshit under control,
right.
from happening. I don't keep up with whoever all gets ejected or who doesn't.
No, I don't even. I'm not talking about specifically who gets ejected or anything, but just like the fact that they aren't afraid to pull that trigger. Like it kind of. I would think it kind of makes people second guess it, but in the heat of the moment, sometimes you just don't. But
yeah, I mean they're doing that in flag football tournaments, man.
Like I've just realized
or something, you're out.
Right. I've just realized a lot less arguing with the refs directly since they started just tossing people. Like no questions asked. If you leave the sideline, people don't rush the sideline. People don't leave the sideline no more. Like you'll see them take a couple of steps and be like, "Oh fuck, nope, hold it, shit," and then they'll get back. Like it's. I feel like they are getting better. I'm not here to criticize like the job that they're doing. I'm just kind of trying to throw the question out there. Which system of reffing is going to be held up in the playoffs? And if it's theirs, how do our players prepare themselves for that level of play before they get there?
Well, I think like as a coach, from like a coach's perspective, I mean, I even teach it to my 7-year-olds, right? This is how we pull flags, no matter what. This is how I'm teaching you how to pull flags. So if I'm teaching you this way and you get a penalty, so be it. So as a Vegas division or the Ohio division or whatever, if we're going back east to play, we're playing football. You're going to play to the whistle. You're going to tackle. And if you get flagged, you get flagged. You learn from it, and you go from there. I mean, you get boomed, you get boomed.
That's
make sure your head's on a swivel. Like it is what it is.
Absolutely. Thank you. Knox, you had anything else from this last week? Like specifically, or like any specific calls you had seen that were questioned or anything like that? I thought I saw pretty clean called games.
I feel like everybody's biggest, concern or I don't know that everybody has something to say about the final play of the last game. To me, it was a legitimate attempt for a tackle. You have, if you're really paying attention, you have two players telling each other pretty much, let's bang.
Yeah, like the Max Holloway. He pointed at the
you know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, it sucks to see a player have to go down like that. And I was pretty shocked myself, and it took me a second to I guess process what happened, you feel me, and the nature of the situation. But it's one of those where I feel like the tackles are getting better. I feel like the blocking and crackbacks are getting better. Mm-hmm. I feel like because people aren't used to seeing them or even used to receiving them, there's a lot of complaints. Mm-hmm. But it comes with knowing the game and knowing what's legal. You know what I'm saying?
I was just going to ask, just a clarification question. It's something that me and you spoke about on Sunday. And then we got clarification from a ref about crackback blocks. And the way the ref said it was, you got the flag because he never looked at you and you still hit him. And it kind of makes sense. Like, even if you can hit him in the chest, if the guy's not looking at you, like, you don't have to boom him. You can still block him without booming. But I guess if he turns and you guys make that eye contact, you can smack him.
I feel like in those calls, you have players who I say their eyes get big, right? Their eyes get big. They know the cameras are rolling. The announcers are announcing, you feel me? Whatever, you feel me? So that's their chance to get their big highlight, you feel me, for the day, if not one of multiple, right? But in a sense, they get lost because it's not it. You know what I mean? You're trying to force it instead of letting it come to you.
Right.
That's the problem. The blocks that are happening, the players aren't really turning around, or they're not squared up, as they would say. Right. They're getting the shoulder, or they're getting the back of the shoulder. You feel me? Just trying to again.
Once again, for joining us here on the other side of the ball, we are talking about what's the situation. What happens is at the Indy Sequided Hunters game, there was a rule made by the league. Technology beats technology sometimes, which we apologize for the technical difficulties.
Well, you were the technical difficulty. We were.
I always
had to
am.
do was just pop back in and just sit here. You feel me? And then, you know what I mean? And then you didn't even have to tell the people what just happened.
Yeah, no, because Knox has been talking for a minute.
Well, I'm apologizing on my end.
No, you're good.
You're good. What we got though? Let's go.
It's funny because the internet went off on Knox every time he had a point on Sunday during the after game show. The post game.
I'm telling you,
right now. But real quick, Scotty.
Real quick.
There we go again.
He said,
"Come on, Dub, get it together."
Hey, Derek says, "Say when I say 15, everybody put your hand up. Ready? 15."
I think the biggest thing, Knox, with the end of that game, it's who made the hit, not so much the hit itself. I like Southern's game. I think he plays with a intensity that a lot of people need to play with. I think he plays physical. I think he lays it all out on the line. I'm not going to give you my opinion on if I agreed with it or not, but I do think that when someone has been flagged for illegal hits multiple times, that's what kind of raises those red flags, especially because of who made it. So that perception, again, sucks. But I think if it was another player, it probably would have just kind of went to like, oh shit, that was just a bang bang play, you know. So it sucks. It sucks for Southern because he plays the same way. I do think he needs to wrap up a little bit more and show that he's rapping. But again, that's my opinion.
Hey, but Scott, now let me ask you this, right?
Sure.
You and this is just a generalized, right? Because you have a lot of offensive players that once they get the ball, one of their instincts is to get low themselves.
I was just gonna try. I was waiting.
How does one wrap up with one that is seeming to be pretty low? Then the tackle radius.
That's actually a great question, Knox, because the problem I'm seeing with the league, and again, this is something that the league can think about doing in the fall, and this could be across the board, is the A7 kind of markets it as rugby style tackling, right? None of us have been trained in rugby style tackling. Do you know what I mean? And there's a technique to it. And in rugby, if you've ever watched it before, I actually played a little bit of rugby in New Mexico when I was in college. But, players can get low and run people over. And them dudes are still out there with no helmets, no pads, making tackles low and correctly. And I think the biggest problem is a lot of us are trying to tackle like real football players without the equipment that can protect us all around. So until the players learn how to properly tackle, I think we're going to continue seeing some of these hits or these grabbing and throwing kind of things that we're seeing.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of these guys don't understand that you can drop your shoulder level without dropping your head down.
True.
It's like I don't know. I tackle more like a double leg shot than anything. Just because it gets me right down to hip level, and I'm used to that motion from wrestling for so long. But as long as you get your shoulder square and you can keep your chest up and your head to the side, you don't have to duck your head down. And I hope JB recovers quickly, and I hope everything is okay. But in my opinion, I kind of thought he dropped his head when, like, just like you would if you were trying, like when you had pads on, to try and run somebody over, running through the hole.
Yeah, so you're correct. You're Scotty. He dropped his head. The problem wasn't necessarily the issue with the runner, right? The way Southern tackled him is old school style tackling, right? We all taught, hey, bite the football. His ball was in his right hand. He dropped his head. Southern head was towards the football, right?
Yep.
The Southern head was on the right side of that guy's body. And he truly went chest to his body, making a tackle and keeping his head on the right side of the runner's body. That would have eliminated all of the contact from shoulder to head or whatever. Now, that's not Southern's fault, right? Again, he hasn't been taught how to tackle the rugby style way or the hop tackling way that the NFL is now teaching, right? We're all playing and reacting off of what we've all learned as kids or in college or in high school or whatever it may be. So it's just one of those bang bang plays, I'm just glad the kid woke up and walked to the sideline.
Like I just think it's like you were saying. I think it's something, a technique that can be taught to everybody.
Hold on, Scott. I feel like because and that you started off with it is because of who made the tackle.
Yeah.
Just the flag in general.
I'm saying
like the result of the tackle or the flag itself.
No, school said that it was who made the tackle, so it was who was involved.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
The you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now we can all say that. Yeah, he's had his fair share of not wrapping up, right?
Yeah.
But can we also say that he has improved on his tackling 100%?
Oh yeah, I think he's one of the best tackling corners in the league.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Scoop.
Think of it like right, we're in a classroom, right? and the constant troublemakers causing trouble, right? And the one time that somebody else causes trouble, what does the teacher normally think, right? It's that kid who caused trouble, the troublemaker. But in reality, it was somebody else. When I referred to who was making the tackle, that's what I'm saying. Is like, I don't think the tackle was necessarily completely illegal. I don't think he intentionally tried to hurt the guy. It just so happened to be that it was Southern, and he had, instances where he was making illegal tackles throughout, his 2 seasons of playing. And so everybody kind of went in an uproar with it, and including myself, right? When I first seen it, I was like, God, that's so not cool, But after looking at it, I'm like, okay, wasn't that bad. It was kind of just a bang bang. But I do think he's improved tremendously trying to, tackle the proper way, And it's not easy, especially when that kid was bigger than him.
Yeah. So
he comes downhill so hard.
Yeah. So even with that, what I was wanting to necessarily get at was we all had an agreement, that the runner kind of lowered his head more than what it was supposed to have been, as someone that's just supposed to, we'll just say, be able to just truck. You know what I'm saying? That was more like a heads up play, like they both had on, helmets and pads. So for me, that's it. I guess I'm just not trying to put the focal point on the tackler. The focal point needs to also be on the person that is returning or that has the ball in their hand. Because we can say that we've seen that play happen before, where we see offensive players lower their head to where it makes it tougher for the defensive player or the tackler or whoever, you feel me, to be able to really get that necessary angle to make it a safe play.
Right, because you're by doing that, you're trying to decrease the size of your target area.
100%.
So,
you know what I'm saying? So
after rewatching it, I really just think it was they called each other out. Like it's a very unfortunate result, but I think they should have just kind of let it be. Like, take care of the kid, to make sure that both of them are taken care of, and make sure that the medical support staff sees to them both. Hope they both wake up and that's it. But I'm also a little retarded.
No, I think both of you guys are right. I definitely don't think the runner should have lowered his head by any means. But I think that it's not even him, if other people do it. Go back and watch. I think Eric Williams posted it from the Kit Bosses. He posted the tackle he made on Wilkerson on 4th down in the backfield. If you watch how he made the tackle, whether he was intentionally trying to tackle that way or not, that's like a perfect form rugby style tackle. Or if you've ever watched like Munchie tackle somebody, the head is completely Tone's another one. The head is completely out of the field of any type of contact, because it's away from the ball carrier's, I don't want to say body, but we're hitting with our chest and our shoulder as opposed to sticking our head in the mix as like a missile, right? And so if you go back and watch some of those guys who make tackles on the bigger dudes, you're going to see better tackling technique. And when you're running down the field at 100 miles an hour, you're not thinking about which shoulder I'm going to hit with and shit like that. So that's why I didn't make a big stink about it. You know what I mean?
Tone's tackle on Sayal. He made an open field tackle on Sayal, and it was a perfect form tackle. He hit him right in the pocket, right in the hips, and made a perfect tackle. He just immobilized him. He didn't blow through him or anything like that.
But understand too, you're able to make those tackles when the runner isn't, tipped up into a ball damn near.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I want to make sure that we. I agree with Knox, and I think that maybe people
don't understand that because I come from playing defense. You feel me? And if I have to tackle somebody who's, like I said, coming at me at a ball, I mean, of course, there's different ways to make those tackles, and like School said, that comes with experience. You know what I mean? So of course, you know how to make those necessary tackles. Everybody doesn't have that, background or have that shit in them just yet, right?
Well, because they're planning on that inexperience, and they're hoping people step to the side and try and olay them and grab onto them with their arms or something. They're banking on that. But like, I think it's definitely I think it's just definitely one of those things that we have to spend as much time on focusing on the runners and making sure they're not dropping their head like that. And I'm not saying it should be a penalty. I'm not saying I don't know what the solution would be, but I just think it's something we should focus on for sure. Like, especially looking at that play, like, because I feel bad for the kid, but also I don't think Dion should be looked at any type of way, because I think he made a decent hit. Like he dropped his head. Like, you can see he dropped his head to the side when he went to hit him. Now he took his eyes off of him, but he dropped his head to the side, and I don't know if his head was on the other side. Yeah, it would have been great. But also, if his head is on the other side and JB has his head down like that, maybe he runs through that left arm.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Now, while we have Scooter on, while we have Scotty on, finish your point, Scott. Finish your point.
No, I was done with my point. My bad. Sometimes I forget to put
finish your point
on the end of the sentences.
Viking, are you there?
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear
Dub.
me?
Yeah, Dub.
Okay.
He said he's good, Dub.
Yeah, I just think
while we have Scooter in here, while we got, go ahead, Scotty.
I was trying to cover for dead time. every time there's dead time, you start.
While we got Scooter on here, real quickly, I have no luck today, but while we got Scotty here, real quick, let's talk about the 69-6 victory for the Insomniacs against the Kryptonite. The Insomniacs spotted the Kryptonite a 6-0 win, then go on a 69-0 run to mark their record to 4-0 on the season. It just looked like you guys had a determined focus this past week, Scotty. Just what worked well, and just what led to the 69-0 run after you guys spot the Kryptonite a 6-0 lead.
I mean, we were excited to play the Kryptonite because they had been showing up with a decent amount of players, and they looked pretty competitive, especially on the O&D line. They looked like they had some size and some guys who could play. So we were kind of excited coming into the game, and then, not gonna lie, showing up to the game and only seeing what they have 8 or 9 guys, it was kind of like, kind of crappy. I mean, it's good for the guys that don't play a lot because they got to play a lot and kind of showcase what they can do. And that's always fun. But I think the end goal is, to be the number one league. And when you got games like that, it's kind of no fun. But I'm glad we came out and did what we were supposed to do against a team, and not play down to a certain level.
How do you feel about the merger?
I think it's best for the league. I think 6 teams is something I've just kind of kept to myself and said. I think that it allows every team to have 20 plus guys and show up and compete. I think it's good for TV. I think it's good for the league as a whole. Nobody wants to see 9 guys on the sideline or 8 guys on the sideline. It just makes the game just not fun.
Right. So one other question: you being like a leader on your team, obviously, and also being so successful in the flag,
your team too.
Yes, but being that, how do you control like a merger like that? Who takes control of the playbook? Who gets to use their defense? How do you go about establishing who's playing what position? How does that work? And what can these guys look forward to?
So I think the good thing about the mergers that are happening is that there's not like an alpha team per se. Like it would be difficult for say us and Sick to merge, because it's like, okay, so you got good receivers on both sides of the ball, you got good quarterbacks, you got good O linemen, you got good defenses. Who calls plays? Who doesn't call plays? Who runs the defense? Who doesn't run the defense? I think it's harder when the teams are more alpha-like. I think because, okay, my personal opinion, with the Golds merging with the Kryptonite, correct?
The Gold and the Kryptonite and the Hunters and the Pit Bosses.
Yeah, so Hunters and Pit Bosses, you got a Pit Boss quarterback who's been I would say dominating in his aspect. He's done damage on every team that they've played. He's done really well with his legs. He's shown he can throw the ball a little bit. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. You let kind of the Pit Bosses control the offense, and you let guys fill in where as needed. And then the same thing with the Gold and the Kryptonite. I think the Kryptonite had a good coaching staff. They had 3 or 4 guys out there coaching. I think you let them come in and start running the team as a coaching staff and make decisions based off that. It's not going to, be perfect this week or next week. But I think you just kind of try to get together as much as you can in the next couple of weeks to make every game as competitive as you can and make everybody be able to play together.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Me, I think
so. Real quick,
starts with communication. Hold on, Doug, before you cut. Yeah, see, you're gonna cut me
again.
All right, check this out. All right, so I'm gonna just make it short. You just make me want to make it short and simple. All right, go ahead.
No. You. Again, I can't win because every time I talk, I'm on a doggone delay. So I'm gonna just shut up. I'm gonna mute myself. Go ahead, Knox. I'm gonna mute myself.
Oh fuck! All right, Knox.
I already gave my opinion. You gotta go.
Oh, damn it! I don't have another question.
I was going to say real quickly. You guys play Over the Top this upcoming week. Thoughts on this new version of OTT as you guys play them for the first time this season?
It's exciting. They kind of got a taste of some humble pie last week. So we're expecting them to come in a little bit more humbled and more locked in. And they got bodies. They got guys that can fly around and tackle people. They got guys that can run. They got guys that can take off and score. In a blink of an eye. So, they'll get you if you're not ready. They're going to get you. We're excited to have a competitive. Well, I mean, it should be kind of competitive, but it'll be a good game. It'll be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else have any questions? Because again, if I start talking, it feels like I'm going to cut somebody off. So the floor is yours.
Hey, School, you still need those cleats for those youngsters? I got a couple around the house I could shoot to. You still?
Yeah, man. We got a couple kids that need some probably 10s and a halves, and 11s and 12s. I mean, right in that area. Anything bigger than 12, we're probably not needing. But yeah, we're always looking for some stuff. We got new kids coming out every single day.
No, for sure.
That don't have things they need. Hey, before I bounce off, I'm gonna just kind of, I see Mark in the chat. I agree, Mark, with the East Coast, with the Snow Tribe, and kind of the way they tackle. They're pretty reckless over there. They kind of don't give a shit about going to work the next day. So I totally get that. As far as Southern not being flagged, I didn't know what Derek told the league or not. I just know based off of what I'm watching. And then, I do agree with you. They're probably not going to come humbled, and they're on a mission. But we'll give them a little bit of humble pie on Sunday too.
You got a prediction?
Right, well, you can catch.
Prediction? It's going to be a blowout. No, I mean, it'll be probably a similar score that you've seen this past weekend.
That was a mercy rule.
Yeah, that was a 69-0 run. But nonetheless, you can catch Scotty and the rest of the Wolfpack, the rest of the Insomniacs, looking to extend their winning streak against OTT this upcoming Sunday. But Scotty, we always appreciate the time. Doors always open. Be well and good health, and good luck this upcoming Sunday. Appreciate the time.
I appreciate it.
That was Scott Scooter Hamilton coming in and giving his thoughts on the tackling situation, and we say hello to little Viking in the background with his dad. And so, just to recap what happened in the league last week, as mentioned, the Octane got their first win in their A7FL existence with a 25-20 win over the Columbus Explorers. Pit Muscles got their first win last week via of a 44-0 score over the Gold. The Crush go to Gittabun. They win over the Volcanoes 36-12. You get revenge on the Orange 50-18, but Corey Hammond did have a very nice touchdown pass in that game. BIC beat the Buzz 49-6. The Force emphatically get their first win of the season 44-20 over OTT. As mentioned earlier, in the Battle of Obedience in Ohio, the Chaos still remain undefeated. They beat the Covington Heights 27-13. Of course, we just talked about the Insomniacs beating the Kryptonites 69-6. And the Animals being the Snow Tribe 41-19. And in the nightcap, done short by way of injury situations, Sick With It beats the Hunters 40-6. What was the one thing that impressed you, gentlemen, from this past week's action in the league? And the floor is
in our division or
yours.
From
all around the league, wherever you want to start.
You know, let Knox go first so Dub doesn't interrupt him. Hey, man, never mind. We're not sponsored by them. I'm not gonna say nothing, but they taste good.
Nah, I was surprised and I was happy to see my good friend Corey throw a dot.
That was a
you
dot.
Feel me?
That was a hell of a pass.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. He threw a hell of a dot. That's what I want to see from you. You feel me? Other than that, everything's pretty much been the same. I haven't really seen anything different. Surprised by certain scores. Of course, we're going to be surprised by certain scores across the league. But overall, I haven't really seen anything different that is worth, like, oh.
Nice. I don't know. I watched a little bit of that last Chaos game because I had heard that they were doing pretty good. They were blowing people out again, but I had seen a couple of highlights, and they looked pretty damn good. So I actually went and rewatched that game while I was in the hyperbaric chamber today, and I gotta say, man, they added a couple of guys that actually look like they're in shape this year. They got a few people that actually look like football players. Got a little technique. They got people like actually working containment. They got people setting edges. They went. I think they went and found a couple people that actually eat out there. So, they were actually playing football. I was impressed with the improvement over the last year. Like, and we had heard them saying that they were going to get better, but also we don't give a fuck about all that. They came out, and from what I can see, they've actually improved a little bit. Outside of that, I think I want to see how this top three in the Northeast lines up here in like 3 or 4 weeks after they beat up on each other for a couple of weeks and see how.
That's something to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Because they're so busy. Like, I don't take anything away from the East Coast. Like, I understand like all this separatist bullshit, but like looking at them like just from an unbiased view and watching the football games, they play a very physical, very fun to watch style of football. I like all the inside traps and all the big boy runs, and I like the fact that their big dudes get active. Mm-hmm. Like I like it. Like they get out, they pull, they're hitting, they got technique and stuff. I like watching it. It's just I want to see who can keep it up. You know what I mean? Like it's like you keep seeing a new breakout guy every week. Obviously, there's like the big guys that are doing well on offense, like the main guys over there, but on defense it's like a new guy kind of every week, and I want to see who can put together 3 or 4 games later in the season, and I think the defense is going to be what decides what comes out of New England.
I think that's what we're all pretty much excited for, at least me. I'm excited to see what the playoffs hold.
Nobody said easy ride to the ship. Who said that? That's wild. I was just talking about how the chaos got better.
Well, everybody.
Northeast, my bad. Northeast. I see any Northeast. My bad. Jesus Christ. God,
but NE does stand for New England also. Stop calling yourself
like
that.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not talking. I haven't said nothing bad about a team the other out that way at all. I like seeing the improvement on them. I just want to see like how it holds up. Like the BIC, like they're all just gonna keep trading blows. They're gonna get one up on each other. They know each other so well. Like even with the Watchmen, like they all know each other so well. Who knows who's gonna come out of that until later in the season? Like I just enjoy watching the games for right now. All right, baby. I love you. My bad. He's going with his mom. But yeah, like I was saying, like I'm excited to see like they're implementing different schemes and still like running these heavy sets. I like it. I don't know. I don't understand where all this Vegas thinks they're getting an easy pass from. I don't know who says that. But
I like that. I like the line that Big Rob said.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that. And like they all gotta play each other before you can really make a determination. Cause like what's weird is like styles make fights. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with A7FL because like sometimes like sometimes the big guys don't work against the quick guys, and sometimes the quick guys can't get in on the big guys. You know what I mean? Like every other day, it could be something different. It could be schematically, you could just have some shit drawn up that the other team doesn't have an answer for, or your defense could be so good that they just shut other shit down. You know what I mean? Like I want to see how it all plays out after they've played each other. Like, I don't think it's as evident in the first couple of weeks of the season as everybody makes it seem.
So who is saying that the chaos? Who's saying that the chaos does not have more respect? Who's saying that?
Hold on. And I'm not bashing you. I was asking a question because Travis Gallardo, he said how Vegas talking about an easy ride to the chip. And he was talking to Rob, and I don't understand where it came off like that, unless I'm misunderstanding, which I do a lot. But I don't think we have an easy ride. Nobody in Vegas has an easy ride because they, no matter what, Insomniacs, Sick, and the Force, like regardless of what their record looks like right now, like if you look at how they play the game, they can line up and win any day if they put it all together. It's a big if, but if they put it all together, that's a scary team. Not a scary team, but that's a formidable team to play. Like if they can put it all together at the same time. Like I'm not saying anybody has an easy ride. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. But to say that in one season, Chaos has put it together enough to beat the Insomniacs or Sick or Force. I don't know. I think they got a real good shot against the Kryptonite and the Pit Bosses and OTT. Like I'm serious. Like, but against our top three, like they got a shot against Force maybe, but I think Force, because it's an out of town team, comes in and just plays dirty. Like, I think Coach Mack just comes in there with a fucking attitude, and they just send the fucking house at him. But I don't know. No, like, and I'm not saying you said anything. I'm wondering who said it. I was actually asking a question because I haven't heard anybody say that. Like, I just think that, I don't know. Like, I think the Chaos are doing great. I just don't think they're doing great enough to fuck with our top three. But
well,
also,
that always
like,
makes for a good
the
conversation
top
debate.
four in the Northeast are fucking insanely good too. And we can't forget about the Nightcrawlers.
No, not at all. I mean, they are the defending Eastern Conference champions. We can't forget about that. I mean, they did beat a team from the Northeast to get to the chip last season. So, I mean, it is interesting to what everyone thinks about what could happen, what should happen.
No, yeah, no, I completely think it was no, man. You're good. I don't think there's a misunderstanding. I think it was just I'm asking like who said like I hope nobody's saying that because I don't think it's like that. Like I genuinely think that we have to wait. And other seasons, people have been real sure it was either the Insomniacs or Sick had a shot, and now like with the way Sick is playing, man, that's nobody can count them out of any game for what? Any game with anybody. Period.
No, with the way they played so far, you're right. You're absolutely right.
But like if anybody from the Chaos can honestly look me in my face, look at their game film and watch Sick with his game film, compare the opponents and really think they got a shot to come out here or us go out there and they can beat them, that's wild. That's wild. I don't know. Like maybe just because like we get to hear this content. We're not in the booth anymore. We get to hear this content. We're seeing it all like up close and personal. It's a different view.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and still nobody has come out here and beat the Insomniacs at all. So,
well, as I say, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and I mean, until somebody has cracked the code, I mean, the champs are the champs for a reason. Now, I mean, it would be great to see the Insomniacs finally play somebody back east. It would be great to see.
To say nobody
I know it would be must see TV. Well, they haven't cracked the code because they have not lost. That's what I mean by cracking the code.
Right, and it's always in they like teams fail to play the fourth quarter like they do the first two. That's always what it seems to have. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I could be wrong. I've been wrong 2 or 3 times in my life.
Well, nonetheless, as we now will get to these games here for week. Well, I don't know because we don't. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. So, one game, we got a game in Florida. The Nightcrawlers against the O-Town Orange. We got the Heist and the Crush. We got BI. Now, this is a very good matchup. BIC and the Watchmen. That's going to be very, very intriguing to watch. That is 1 p.m. Eastern, which will be 10 o'clock our time. And then we also got the Silk City Animals taking on the DC Buzz. And then, as already mentioned, we have Over the Top. After getting that humble pie, how will they respond against the champs? And then the Octane plays the Chaos. Then we have the Snow Tribe taking on the Renegades. Somebody in that game will get their first win of the season. The Volcanoes against the Columbus Explorers. And
my bad.
And another.
I was reading comments. My fault.
No, I'm just.
Coach Mark.
I mean, from the looks of
it. I love Coach Mark. He's hilarious.
It's very interesting, but BIC and Watchmen, real quick. How do you see that game coming to fruition? What kind of? I mean, we know it's going to be a physical style of play. Do you think the Watchmen have a chip on the shoulder because they kind of took a rough one against the Patterson U in opening day in week 1? It seems like they want to try to get themselves back in the upper echelon in the Northeast. How do you see this game coming into fruition?
Honestly, I think it's up to the Watchmen's D line and their linebacker. Like they have to be able to withstand the BIC's rush and all those play actions. Like if you can sustain the contact and all the pulls and the traps, and you can sustain that contact, and then also like at the same time be able to maintain your assignments when the running back gets out or when Trey gets out. It is what it is. Like if it's up to the D line, if they can withstand that that O line for a little bit, they have a shot at it. But if that O line starts walking that D line down there, it's gonna be a long fucking day.
Big man, how do you see it?
I see it the same way Scott said it. It's gonna come down to the D line. If the D line can make their presence felt and not get bullied around, then it'll be a game.
That counter pull. That their DNs are a little smaller than BIC's linemen, and BIC loves to run that counter pull, and then they also like they like traps too.
No, 100%. That's why I said that it's up to them not to get bullied. You know what I mean? And it's going to be up to the three.
All right, hold on. The boss is going to come on and join us real quick, ladies and gentlemen. The division owner, Mr. Derek Duncan, is in the house. Double D, what's going on, sir?
What's good, man? Just landed, grabbing dinner for wife, and headed to the house. Realized we had a few minutes left. I tried to get on earlier and didn't have enough juice on my phone, so I had to go charge it up. So, long day.
You don't have a curfew. You're good.
By the way, did Miss Jen have a good birthday, first and foremost?
She says she did. I mean, I felt like I did a couple things, nowhere near what I like to do when I have the amount of time I have to, plan things right. And you don't have a 5-month-old running around or screaming at the house. So it was definitely a revised version of a good birthday for my wife, but we had a good time together. So yeah, I'll say overall a success, and she was happy.
Well, that's the important thing. Happy wife, happy life. Absolutely. Floor's yours, D. Go ahead.
Were you able to link up with Vikings Plug?
I'm not exactly sure what you mean, but I don't think I went down that road.
Our potential sponsor, we're going to look into.
There were no fish hooks involved with her birthday. Let's just say that.
Understood. Oh, yep.
And just like that, his screen has gone black, but we can still hear the background.
We got somebody that hopped in and said BIC's whole O line is going to be there this week, and that's what we were talking about.
He said it's going to be ugly.
It's going to be hard work for that D line. Like being able to set that edge and also be able to keep contained is going to be tricky, because if you try and crash too hard down, like when you have a lineman pulling, you're supposed to reverse arm it and kind of get underneath him to prevent that ball carrier from getting to the outside. But if you do that and Trey Robertson pulls the ball out and bounces outside, then what? Then you're up Shit's Creek with no paddle.
Yeah, so
does anybody want to attack? Go ahead.
I mean, so Viking, what's your move on that? Because in my defense, your assignment's your assignment. If the man pulls, your job is still your job.
Absolutely, you have to set that edge. But that guy if that guy is motioning down the line like that, and I step up and he's coming to kick me out specifically.
Yep.
If I like even step upfield, if I don't engage him and shut that down and make the running back come down and then bounce out, then no matter what I do, he's going to push me out and get the hole that he wants to create. Yeah, and then if the quarterback sees that and hands that off, then that's a wide open hole. It doesn't matter if I have contain or not, because I just got pushed out of the whole play. So that's why they teach you to reverse arm it and engage the lineman almost head up. That way you shut that gap down, and then your corner is supposed to give you some help on the outside.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. You engage the pulling guard if he's coming to your side and try to drive him back into the play.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Well, that's how I was taught. There's other ways to do it. You could try and You could try and just crash and swim and surf down the backside, but I don't know.
Yeah, but then you're setting yourself up for a screen too.
Absolutely.
So we were always taught, and I've always run it at pulling guard. The backside pursuit from the full is the hot man who's supposed to fucking light the quarterback's ass all the way up for even calling that play and see if they're stupid enough to call it again.
You just got to hope you have somebody fast enough to catch him.
Boy, he's standing there faking it. He's standing there handing the ball off. He's not moving. So you light his ass up at the mesh point. Like, oops, I didn't realize you didn't have the ball. Guess we won't see you for the next 5 plays.
Yeah. Yep. There's that.
But, you know, I don't get to play anymore. I just get to watch and call it from the sideline.
Yeah, you're not wrong, because like if the guy is pulling away from you, the play is supposed to be going that way. So you better be coming in that line.
So what I missed, guys?
So Derek, has there been any announcement as far as the other? Well, we had a Scooter on earlier, and now with this whole merging situation, is there any official announcement of the other 2 games taking place other than the Kryptonite and OTT and the Insomniacs for this upcoming Sunday?
So you guys don't have the official schedule then for that we said was final.
I haven't seen a copy of it. No, I have not. I haven't seen anything.
Okay, I'm sorry. I assume that. So I'm 100% sure Knox has seen it, but
yeah, I've seen it. I didn't know if you wanted me to get it over to them or not, but I can.
No, so it was in the coach's chat. Yeah, you can. So hang on, you got it pulled up, Knox.
Hey, it kind of sounds like my dog's got a hold of that stray cat in the backyard, so I'll be back in a minute.
I think I got it quickly. Hang on a second. Photos. Recents. All right. Can you hear me? Because I had to go away from it to talk about it real quick. So the early game is Insomniacs versus...
We can hear you.
Okay. So the early game is Insomniacs versus OTT. Game 2 is Force versus Pit Bosses. Game 3 is Gold versus Sick.
Okay. All right.
I'm putting it into the OSO TV chat right now, so you can have visibility on it too.
All right. All right. So that is your 3-game slot here in the Nevada division. Of course, the times will change. So the first game will be at 1 p.m. Is that correct? First game 1 p.m. Is that correct? Or 1:30?
1 o'clock.
All right. So we got Insomniacs OTT at 1 p.m. Force versus Pit Bosses at 4, and in the nightcap it will be Gold versus Sick. So 1 p.m. is when we'll be on the air live. Confirmation. Will Fox carry all those games or just the 4 and 7 as they've been doing the last couple of weeks? Or no word on that yet. And Derek got kicked out. So again, for week 5 here in the Nevada division, it'll be Insomniacs and OTT kicking us off at 1 p.m. Force and Pit Bosses at 4 p.m. And in the nightcap, Sick versus Gold. Knox, how do you see the first game between OTT and the champs? How do you see that? How do you see this game coming into?
OTT already disappointed me. They're going to disappoint me again. So if I even attempt to go that way. So I'm going to stick to where I've been going, and I'm going to just go ahead and say the champs just because even school said that. And I know they want to go home early. They don't really want to finish the game. So I see them getting it over with pretty early.
All right, so he is calling a mercy roll. Double D, how do you see OTT and the champs in the first game in the 1 o'clock slot?
Champs by 20.
He's got the Insomniacs by 20. I'm pretty sure I know who Scotty is picking.
But my assessment is Insomniacs like to start slow. OTT is going to be looking to prove something after the thing, but I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park mercy rule game. There's too much talent on the OTT side and too much dog in those guys.
Oh, you're not wrong about the heart. That's for certain. That is for sure.
All right, y'all. I'm going to jump off for a minute, say hi to the wife. I'll pop back on if you guys are still on in a bit.
All right. We appreciate Double D coming in and giving us some info as Scotty makes his way back in. Scott, how do you see OTT and the Champs' first game in the 1 o'clock slot on Sunday?
Insomniacs by 28.
All right. So,
but I'm going to put an asterisk, and I'm also going to put an over-under on 1.5 fist fights on their sideline.
Really? Why you say
all because of their bullshit? Because of their bullshit, somebody hit my fucking truck in a parking lot.
Really? Oh boy.
Absolutely.
Well, you know that is
and I hope so. I literally hope you find a herpes blister.
Oh boy. Well,
no, that is fucked up. If they would have said something to me, I'd have just been like, "Oh, okay, cool, shit happens." Okay. They didn't even try to rub the shit off or nothing. They just hit the shit and kept it pushing.
Oh rude. Wow. Okay. Well, did it leave a dent on the trunk? Is your truck okay?
I'm gonna get it figured out. I know a couple body guys.
Okay. All right. Well. All right. So, I'll make unanimous. I'll say the Champs. They will win the game. I'm not going to say by how much, but I'm just going to pick them to win it. All right. 4 p.m. time slot for Week 5 here in the A7FL here in Nevada. In the 4 o'clock time slot, we have the Force and the Pit Bosses. Force coming off an emphatic first win of the season, 44-20 over OTT. And, of course, this is the Hunters and Pit Bosses coming together. So this is going to be very intriguing to see how they will mesh and come together. Scott, how do you see this one?
Do you think anybody from the Hunters takes a spot on the Pit Bosses?
Well, I mean, you would hope so.
You said what?
Oh, JB's hurt. Kamari. Yeah, I mean, he can step in anywhere, really. I mean, they got some athletes, but the Pit Bosses
still got Lucky Marlon Hicks. You still got Matty Ice on the Hunters. So, I mean, there are some guys that.
But the Pit Bosses kind of have a solid team like that. This is where the tricky part in.
You're not wrong on that either.
But I think the Pit Bosses welcome. No, I'm just joking. No, it's Pit Bosses in the Forest. I think the Pit Bosses give them a real good first, second quarter. And then I think the Force pull away. But I'm gonna give it Force by 21. I think they got it together.
Knox, what says you?
I got the same, pretty much the same prediction. I feel like the Pit Boss will give them a run for their money, or at least try to. Right, they got something to prove within themselves that they're able to compete. I think it'll definitely end up coming down to if they're able to stop that run game. The Force got a crazy run game over there, and they displayed that shit last game. So unless they're able to stop that run game, or even just stop the downfield threats that Fox has, it's gonna be a problem. Plus, they're still trying to. We'll just say they're even trying to figure it out with whatever pieces that get added, or even just with whatever's going on, right? So, if they let that, let's just say, affect the outcome of the game, or how they choose to want to play the game, the Force will just easily take it. You want to see them compete just like they did last
Packer,
week.
what's your question? First off, Jenny Packer, what's your question? And then secondly, I just think the defense for the Force, they set the tone last week with Branch, Fleming, Smith, and Sewell. I think the same thing will happen this week. And I'm what's got the Force pull away and get their second straight victory of the season. But Packer, what's your question? What question did we just go over? So if you remember your question, please ask it.
He wanted to know if he had Just for Men.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I use actual. Never mind. Until they sponsor, I'm not bringing you up no more. I'm also open to a sponsorship from Royal Honeys because when I can't afford the Blue Chews, I'm straight to the liquor store.
What happened, Packer? Because me as the division manager, I don't even know what happened to his truck. So what happened?
I'm trying to think about how to say. There's every way I can think about saying this. It's like telling, and I can't do that.
Hey, that's why I asked Packer. What happened?
Yeah.
Packer might have to say this off air.
Yeah, no, there was a situation in the parking lot that happened after the game, after the lights went out, that you had taken care of, and then in the midst of them skedaddling, somebody pulled out and hit my truck because it wasn't like that before. Because I had already been to my truck, and it was after one specific team had stayed behind because of what happened.
Got you.
Yeah, that's the best way I can really say it without saying too much. You know what I mean?
All right.
But I don't know. I heard some wild shit happen on the sidelines.
I don't know. What up, Dad? What you got?
Man,
well,
hey,
I know
what's crazy
about what happened.
We have to talk about how hot it gets, how loose this turf gets. Y'all need to make sure that when you're warming up, you don't need to be out there running all those crazy routes and warming up like you do like it's the middle of the winter. Yeah, just loosen up a little bit, man. Like I saw multiple people in the middle of warm, drenched in sweat, like 15 minutes before the game. You can't rehydrate that fast. Like it takes a while. So like there's some things that we all need to look into to maintain because we're dealing with a lot of cramps. It's only going to get hotter. Make sure you bring a little pop-up tent. Make sure you bring a cooler and put a towel in the cooler. That way when you come off, your feet are going to be hot. That's going to be a cold towel. You sit down, you put your feet in it, you wrap the tops of your feet in it. It'll cool your feet down fast. It's going to be necessary when it's 115 degrees out here.
Or just get you some turf shoes. If you don't know, turf shoes don't burn at all. You feel me? It's a great investment.
Like make sure you're hydrating well,
and they're very comfortable.
Yeah,
you need to reach out to Liquid IV and have them send a couple of them hoochies up here with some free samples.
You want the brand ambassadors?
Right. Absolutely.
All right.
I'm gonna go do some research.
In the nightcap, it is Sick taking on the Gold, merging with the Kryptonite. Sick coming off a 46 win over the Hunters. Under the lights, how do you think this merge will go down between Crypto and the Gold? The Crypto Gold, as I guess you could call it.
Bitcoin. Oh, wow, that's funny. Oh man, they said gold bonds or medicated foot powder helps too. That's funny.
Yeah. Listen to JB.
Man.
Which, by the way,
honestly, I think that it helps. It puts the Gold in a better position, man. Like it gives some of the guys on the Kryptonite a break and some help, but it's some much needed help for the Gold, man. They were going through it. I I legitimately felt bad for them some games. I'm glad they're getting some help. This is good for everybody. I don't know necessarily how much it improves them as a team overall. We'll see in a couple of weeks after they got some time to get some chemistry. Between who? Iquan and Jeremiah?
No, Iquan is with the Hunters and the Pitfall.
Oh, he's with the Hunters. My bad. Who's a Kryptonite's quarterback?
They ain't necessarily have one. I know Keenan ran.
Oh, it was supposed to be.
Yeah, supposed to be. They had three different ones each week because week one was Flisk. Week 2 was Keenan.
That's right.
Last week was Coswell mixing with a little bit of prime time.
Oh yeah, no.
That's why I asked that question.
Do you let Jeremiah throw the rock with a little bit of more of a line? I don't know. I haven't seen him throw with a line. We've never seen him throw behind the line before.
I will say this.
He's always been on that.
He does.
I've never seen somebody take so many sacks in their life.
I'll say this: he does have a bell count in Little Bubba to give the ball to. I mean, he does have that.
Yeah.
So he does have that going for him. Yeah, you're not wrong on that. But sick will be sick. I got them winning big.
Yeah, that's a mercy. Oh, that would be.
And speaking of Mr.
Man, that would be wild if they let Kamari go over there and actually play Q for the Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. Bitcoin.
Man, hey, look, man. This is a call out to leadership. With everything going on, can we make one more exception and let Kamari go play for Bitcoin? And can we also change their name to Bitcoin? Might get a good sponsor out of it.
Can we get Bitcoin to sponsor? Is the real question.
Hey, no. What we need to do is go get the same people who started Live. We need some of that oil money.
I think it's one of those where you got 4 organizations, right? Let's just say 4 who don't necessarily have legitimate QBs. Right. You have players that can play and really should be playing elsewhere, playing the quarterback position. So in a sense, they're out of position.
Absolutely.
Me personally, Iquan can play quarterback. He's shifty. He can throw it. He has the reads of if the pass isn't there, I'm just going to take off because they can't catch me anyway. Right.
But if you let him play slot.
Yeah, you feel me? But I would want to see, let's just say him and Kamari team up together and split those snaps, split those reps, come up with a system amongst themselves that can be beneficial. I feel like it starts overall with the organizations and the teams and the coaching staffs, the coaching staff and the organization itself, right? Get your players to understand that it's not who you're better than and whatever. Like I said, buy into the system. If you can't buy into the system of what the bigger picture is and understanding now you have the numbers that you need to be able to compete, you've already had the talent. And like I said, be open to meeting and gaining the respect of new teammates. You feel me? There's nothing wrong with that. It's not about who can be the popular guy on the team or whose plays are better. Because if you look at the top tier teams, right, they have, let's just say, if you go to their playbook,
my bad,
they probably got a solid 10 that they can go to, and it's going to be a touchdown every time. Other than that, they're just fucking around. So while you're still battling on whose playbook is better and who, I want to play quarterback and I want to do this. Okay, well, understand you playing quarterback, you got to go up against AJ. You got to go up against fucking You might have to go up against Saya. You might have to go up against, you feel me, McWillie. Okay. You feel me? You might have to go up against whoever, you feel me? To where are you going to be able to take those hits? Are you going to be able to demand the field like we ask of the quarterback position? Can you lead? It's more to it than just fucking throwing the ball. And there's more to actually running a team and running the organization than running some fucking bullshit plays.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So you just hope that everybody can put their egos aside in all levels of the shit. You feel me? Because it starts coaches, players, fans. You know what I'm saying? Put your fucking egos aside, bro, and become one. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter about what the name is. It doesn't matter about, you know what I'm saying? None of that. And make sure that the players are actually working for their positions. You might have somebody that's better than the next person, but give them a chance to actually display that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And don't make it a fucking argument.
Yeah.
That's
you
middle
get
school.
Chance, be ready to go. That's all you
middle
can
school
do.
shit. Nobody's arguing now about whose fucking position and what position I'm going to play. You know what I'm saying? You're not arguing.
No.
You're like, oh, okay, you got this rep. Cool. I'm going to come get you in 2.
Yeah, that's how.
Real quickly, did you guys?
That's how I prefer. Did we what?
Real quickly, did you guys want to make a prediction? No, just real quickly, did you guys want to make a prediction on BIC versus the Watchmen?
Oh,
was it BIC Watchmen?
Yes,
I'm gonna go BIC by 20. Only because I think they're they're just gonna miss one conversion. Go for one, but they're gonna miss one conversion.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say BIC will win the game. Although I do think it's going to be competitive, but I just think BIC's physicality might be a little bit too much for the Watchmen, even though I do like the way the Watchmen play defense, but I just think too much physicality by BIC will be too much at the end for the Watchmen. So I have the Trenton Brothers in Christ winning. Knox?
If the Watchmen D-line, like I said, can't answer to something for the BIC's O-line, Trey and everybody else is just gonna do what they're gonna do what they've been doing. I feel like Scott said, it's gonna start and it's gonna have to the D-line is gonna have to set the tempo. They're gonna have to make a statement. You know what I'm saying? Because the big talks around the league has been what? The BIC is O-line.
Yeah.
That's the big talks right now. And they've been backing up what everybody's been saying. So they're giving you something to talk about. And when you speak on their O-line, at least you can speak on it with confidence, right? So again, you know that the Watchmen, they have a solid D-line. But again, we haven't seen them have to compete against someone of the nature of BIC's O-line, this season. Yeah. So that's going to be a big test for them. Do I think they'll make it a game? Of course. But ultimately, do I see them coming out victorious? Nah, I think BIC is going to keep doing what they're doing because they're on a revenge tour.
Absolutely.
That revenge tour itself it speaks for a lot. So,
yep.
Hey, but did you check out the unis? I love the gold and black. That shit was crazy.
I didn't see it.
Gold and black was live
on BIC. I did not see that. No,
it's the whole line, bro. It's not just one person. It's the
whole line. It's the whole line.
Hold on, Scott. Hold on. They work together. You feel me? They communicate. You know what I'm saying? They have the chemistry. Nothing seems forced. Like Scott said, they pull. You know what I mean? They understand the gap assignments is more than just one person. That one person just got added. You know what I'm saying? So he's just like a lot of the players that we have out here, to where once he gets added and he's doing what he's been doing, he's giving the people something to talk about. Yeah, it might seem like he's the focal point, but in all, it's the whole O-line itself. It doesn't just start with one person.
Absolutely. I'm going to just say exactly what Knox just said. And it's not that they're big and they're good and they know how to move, but they play a scheme. They play together. They all know their assignments. They maintain their assignments. And even if you blow up the play one time, they're still going to run it. And they have the confidence that they're going to get you on it one time. And you might stop it 2 or 3 times, but it takes one pop for them to get into the end zone. So like I just feel like their line is something to pay attention to. It's something to watch, like especially for the younger linemen or the newer linemen in the league. There's really, like, from the East, you could watch BIC. Patterson U's O-line is pretty good as well. But out here we have the Insomniacs. We have Sickwitt's line works pretty well together. Force's line works really well together as well. They work as a unit. But if you really need to learn how to play, like, I think the cream of the crop in the entire league is the Insomniacs and then BIC. As far as that O-line shit goes, that's just what it is. And yes, I'm biased, and also they're the national champions. You gotta beat them. But I will say that line is fucking formidable. They are. It's not just about how strong they are, because they're fucking strong. It's not about the fact that they're in good shape, and you can see them playing just as intense in the fourth quarter as they do in the first quarter. Like, a couple of those guys kind of seem to get stronger. Marshawn, not comparing him to that, but if you guys remember, one of the things Marshawn Lynch was known for is he hit harder in the fourth quarter than he did in the first quarter.
Yes,
that's how this O-line plays. Like, they're a bunch of, like, if they're not older dudes, they carry themselves like older dudes. Like, it's like an old diesel motor. Like, it takes a little while for them to get revved up and going, but they know their assignment. And when that shit gets to popping, it's a motherfucker to stop. And I just think that it can be done. I just think that you have to respect it. You have to understand and pay attention to the scheme they're running. And you have to have the personnel to do it. Like, you have to have the perfect storm, or they're going to run the fuck through you.
Good stuff. Good analogy, Scott McCorkle. Good analysis. Very good analysis.
Like, they're for sure a team
All right.
to watch.
All right. I just want to make predictions on the rest of the schedule before we put a bow and a wrap on this one.
I'm excited for the merger. Thank you to the leadership for going out there and making a decision quickly and showing the players that they are looking out for them. Like, it may not seem like it's the best for you personally right now, but what's best for the division and for all the players of the division, for our viewers, for everybody involved, this is the best decision in my eyes. And I hope that everybody can just, like Knox has been saying, like everybody's been saying, check your ego at the door just for 2 Sundays, man. Give it 2 Sundays. See what can happen. You might fuck around and make a friend. You might find a starting spot. You might fuck around and find a home somewhere. Like, just give it a fucking
third. We might have a possible third because there is a makeup week that is still being processed for Memorial Day weekend. So we still might have one more game after the week 5 and week 6. So just keep that in mind.
But
Knox, your thoughts before we put a bow and a wrap on this?
Just like Scott was saying, man, everybody just continue to do what you've been doing. Keep putting out your concerns and know that we're listening to them and know that we're trying to make the necessary changes to do that. It starts with you guys, but to be able to get what we want in return, we have to continue to put out a great product. You know what I'm saying? Understand that all eyes are on us, literally. Once those cameras go up and we're live and all of that, all eyes are on you guys. You feel me? So conduct your guys', you know what I'm saying, behavior accordingly. You know what I'm saying? And understand that with great positivity and, comes a great reward.
Absolutely.
And I will.
Oh God,
and
here we
I
go.
will just
All right,
Okay.
man. Look,
Oh,
I'm
well.
tired of this bullshit, man. I thought I gave y'all enough love. I was being nice. Oh well.
Well, again, the Chaos are still unbeaten. They have one who has been a part of their schedule. Let's see if they can put up a better fight than they did against the Insomniacs last year, if they happen to, or whomever they play out west. Let's see if they can put that thing together. And that is the biggest facts of all facts. It is all about matchups. That is, and that's
Styles
in
make
any
fights,
sport.
baby.
That's in any sport.
And
Anyhow,
that's what I
just
was
to go
going to
over the
say earlier.
schedule.
It's going to come down to styles. Every division has their own style of play. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be able to see who can adapt and be able to, take control over whatever game and be able to establish dominance. You know what I'm saying? On whatever format it may be. Because you've seen the Watchmen came out in like a spread flag formation. You got BIC who can run traditional. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what you're going to get because there's so many different styles of play out there.
Right.
Well, all right. One more time, just going through the schedule for Week 5 of the American Sevens Football League. O-Town Orange against the Tampa Nightcrawlers. QC Crush against the Covington Heights. Baltimore Watchmen against the Trenton Brothers in Christ of the BIC. Silk City Animals against the DC Buzz. Over the Top on the Insomniacs. The Indianapolis Octane, fresh off their first win, goes against the undefeated Cincinnati Chaos. We have the Force taking on the Hunters / Pit Bosses. We got the Waray Snow Tribe against the East Orange Renegades, the Olatangi Volcanoes against the Columbus Explorers, Sick, and the Gold to close it out for Week 5 of the A7FL. We like to thank everybody for chiming in and leaving your comments. We appreciate people from across Florida, the Midwest, and the Northeast chiming in and watching us and saying hello. Appreciate Darren Duggan coming on. We appreciate Scott Scooter Hamilton from the Insomniacs coming on. Again, if you still want to be a guest on the show, please reach out to our producer, Nick Blaze, and then we will have you come on the show and you can talk about your team and what they got to do to get better or get a win or coming off a loss or whatever it is that you want to talk about. Because this show is about the league, was also the show is about you, the players, because without the players, we wouldn't be able to do this show, let alone talk about this show or talk about you and talk about the league or get the chance to do what we do. Because, as I've said many times, the heartbeat of this league is the players. Without the players, we don't have this format. So we appreciate all you guys for chiming in and showing us love and even asking some real interesting questions and having some real interesting takes. But nonetheless, for the Viking Scott McCorkle, for Knox 25 Live, which, by the way, it is Ladies' Night on your herd with Big and Friends. We got
It's Ladies' Night.
So
you know I'm watching.
So please tune in to your herd with Big and Friends. But it's the ladies' version of your herd. So please check that out and support them. Again, don't forget about the parlay over down there in Florida. Don't forget Ohio's podcast. I don't know the name of it. My apologies. Of course, don't forget the 3-on-1 podcast with Matt, Rob, and Corey. Of course, don't forget our show with me and Chris Vera, Talking Ish, now on Tuesdays, not Saturdays. We're now moved to Tuesdays on the Talking Ish with Dub and Chris YouTube channel. Of course, the Mizzle and Dub Show. Our last episode is currently up right now on the Mizzle and Dub Show YouTube channel. So I think that's everybody. I think I plugged in everybody, unless there's something I'm missing. But nonetheless, appreciate all you guys. Please join us at Mater Academy starting at 1 p.m., not 11. First game is at 1 p.m. Of course, if you can't be with us at Mater Academy, always watch us on A7FL.TV, Caffeine TV, HBCU Plus, Twitch, CSN, and for our friends globally and across the seas on DAZN. For Only Dads, Knox 25 Live. For the Vikings, Scott McCorkle from Asgard. Double A Anthony Alvarez saying thank you for watching, and we will see you on the other side of the ball. You guys enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe. Take care of yourself and each other.